Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of We Are Legion Live. Tonight, joining us, we have StormSinker. Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, good yourself.
Oh, good, good, good. How's everything down under?
Yeah, it's pretty good. A
Uh,
bit difficult with like gigs and that, but it's pretty good.
okay. Uh, how's the COVID situation and stuff getting down there?
Yeah, it's getting there. I mean, a couple of people are coming from overseas and then find out they have COVID, and then it's pretty difficult after that.
Yeah.
So just hope there doesn't be another lockdown.
Yeah. And where you located at there?
Melbourne,
Melbourne area? Okay.
near the
Uh,
airport.
yeah. So, let
Whereabouts
me.
are you?
I'm in Kansas City, right in the middle of the U.S. So,
Oh yeah.
yeah, you don't get much more middle of the U.S. than what I am. So, uh, yeah, so we're there, and they just recently dropped all restrictions here, starting yesterday. At noon yesterday, they dropped all restrictions for mask indoors and out for vaccinated people, anyways.
That's really
Uh,
good. Yeah, that's good
so
news.
yeah, so things are starting to really open back up. Hopefully, we don't get a large spike where they have to lock everything back down. But things are starting to go back towards normal, and it's starting to look up. Several states have really started to drop their mask mandates and things like that, especially for vaccinated people, which is
Yeah.
good for me because I'm already vaccinated. So that is always a positive. I'm itching to get back out and get to hear some live music and things like
Yeah,
that again.
same. Yeah, same.
Yeah.
We were gonna go and see with a mate Stone Temple Pilots.
Oh, really? Awesome. That'd be a great
Yeah,
show.
it was gonna be Stone Temple, Bush, Cheap Trick, and they were gonna be playing down near the bay.
Oh,
And
that's
then
awesome.
so they cancelled in May, and then they were going to have it again, but then that got cancelled because of COVID. So, which is fair enough because I don't want the bands traveling all the way
Yeah.
from. Yeah,
Well, I have seen all three of those bands not together, but I have seen them all on separate occasions, and they all put on a great show. So you will enjoy yourself seeing those
gee.
three bands. Yeah.
Did you see Stone Temple when they had the actual previous vocalist?
Scott Weiland, yes, yeah.
Gee, that would have been an incredible show.
Yeah, that I seen him way. I seen Stone Temple way back in the late. Surprisingly enough, the most recent one I've seen out of the three is Cheap Trick, and that was I seen them. What was it? Probably in 2013, and they were with Foreigner and Journey. They played with
Oh,
Foreigner and
nice.
Journey. So yeah.
I talked
Uh,
with the guitarist of Journey.
oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, coming
That
on
would
the
have been cool.
Coast. Yeah.
Yeah, I never got to see Journey with the original lineup with Steve Perry, but uh, the guy that they got singing for him now, he sounds pretty much just like Steve does. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe not quite the showman that Steve was, but he's pretty good. And yeah, the last live music I got to see was in January of last year when I was in Poland, and they had a live street performers going on, and then I got back to the states right before they locked everything down. But I haven't got to see a live show here in the states for going on 2 years now. So
Gee.
I'm itching to get out to see a live show
Yeah.
here in the states, and I really want to bands back touring, and everybody that goes into putting those shows on back to work, because it's been a very hard time for people like that, and it's just been a nightmare pretty much for everybody, but for like the music industry, it's been horrible.
'Cause,
Because yeah, you got
yeah,
tons of people. You got makeup artists. You got people that deal with wardrobe. You got roadies. You got sound people, uh, truck drivers, everything that just been out of work because there's just been no one traveling and putting on shows. And
mm,
you got vendors and all that stuff.
merch.
Uh, yeah, merch. Yeah, and we've lost several historic music venues
Yeah.
because they just couldn't afford to stay open without no acts to come in and play or no one to come watch the shows. So it was sad to see some of that stuff go. So why don't we talk a little bit about StormSinker as a band?
Yeah.
Go ahead and let us know a little bit about who you are.
Well, my name's George, and I'm the guitarist of StormSinker. And I started this project throughout COVID, at the start of COVID, and I was recording like just sort of like demos in my room on a phone recording. And then I decided to go to a studio, to my guitar tech studio, Shred Studios. His name's Michael Gonfa at Shred Studios. And yeah, he told me to do a project because I've been trying to get this started throughout 5 years. And he told me, why don't you do this project and get it moving? Because he's the one that actually got me moving. Because otherwise I'd just be doing nothing. So I said, all right, I'll come in the studio. I recorded the songs. Then um, my drummer, who was a session musician, Tony Foray, he agreed to play drums and join the band because of Quivering Hourglass, because he loved it so much. And other than that, just been promoting on social media and just saw a spike just from no followers, just now nearly a 1900 followers.
Nice, very nice. Yeah, have you been taking advantage of the daily streams I run over on Twitter, where you
Yep.
guys drop your link? Yeah, those really help out artists, and a lot of people said those have really helped out gaining followers and things like that for them. And
Even the playlists, like I mean, even being on all those playlists,
mhm.
if it can get like 3 streams or more than that, or
Yeah,
followers, that's all that counts.
and there's a lot of good people on there. We built a pretty good community of artists, and not just artists, but playlist people, producers, just all different types of people throughout the music industry. And yeah, if you need to find some playlist placements, just hit me up on the DMs, and I can hook you up with a couple of people that do playlists to get you out onto that as well. Uh, but we really like it, and it will. You keep dropping your links in there, and you're gradually just gonna grab followers, and you're gonna get more streams and more streams and more streams, and it just keeps getting bigger and better all the time.
Because
Um,
Fremont Blood's been helping a fair lot. Sophie Dawson,
mhm. Yeah,
Try
she's
Set.
yeah. Sophie, she's getting ready to be on the show here the 24th. She just getting ready to drop a new track with her that she recorded with her brother. She's a real big help. I don't know if you've talked to my buddy Mike from Three Mind Blight, but he puts out a lot of support for people, and he's a really good friend of Trisette's as well.
I talk to
Uh,
him every single time.
okay, yeah. So yeah, there's quite a few people out there that just
Yeah, big supporter for him on Blight. Sophie
Yeah,
Dawson, all of them.
yeah. They like I said, there's a very good community there, and people will support uh, support you as long as you're supporting them as well. Um, you mentioned a song, "Quivering Hourglass." That was the one that brought your drummer on. You want me to go ahead and play that for it? I got it queued up here on Spotify if you would like.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So here's a little bit from StormSinker. This one's called "Quivering Hourglass." Hey, I'm back. I had a little technical difficulty, but yeah, like I said, this is Quivering Hourglass. Here we go. Control of no sense of it all. It doesn't matter what you do. There is no getting through to you. Through to you. In your feed the monster and watch it grow. All your sins, reap what you sow. Day by day, until you die. No matter why, it's all a lie. It doesn't matter what you do. There's just no getting through to you. In your waking hour. In your waking hour. All the demons that you have inside, as you reach the very end, all your uncontrollable needs. How do I get through to you? Through to you in your waking hour. Yeah, in your waking hour. Very nice on that one. Now you said you play guitar. Is that you on the vocals as well?
No, apparently that's the session vocalist.
The session vocalist. Okay. Do you guys have a constant, standard lead singer, or just you just use session vocalist?
Just use the session vocalist, but I'm at the stage now because it's all snowballing. I'm thinking now I'm going to advertise for a vocalist, and I have to get a guitarist because they were all session musicians. So
Mm. Well, that vocalist there, he had a very, I don't know if this is what the sound you're going for, but it was like a very late 90s, early 2000s kind of vibe to the music. I don't know, who are some of your guys' inspirations for your music?
Alice in Chains, Nirvana, Tool, a little bit of Dream Theater.
I've seen every one of those bands. Actually, I saw Alice in Chains when it was Jerry Cantrell doing the front, not with Lane Staley, which was pretty upsetting. But still,
Yeah,
that they did all the Alice in Chains stuff and things like that. I never got to see Nirvana play before Kurt, but I did. I've seen, of course, Foo Fighters a couple of times, and
yeah. I think like Nirvana was really tragic what happened with Kurt because
yeah,
you know
yeah.
all the greats have gone and it's yeah.
Well, it was really them that kind of changed the way that rock music was going at the time because you were coming from the '80s where you had all these glam metal bands and power ballads and things like that, and then all of a sudden Nirvana hits the scene with this new grunge type thing, and it almost completely just wiped those glam metal bands completely out of existence.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because not only that, right after Nirvana, then you had your Alice in Chains, your Soundgardens, all those bands from the Pacific Northwest just dropping hit after hit after hit and just dominating the radio here stateside. And uh,
I
yeah,
didn't get to see Pearl Jam live. That would have been that would have been
yeah,
good. That would have
Pearl
been awesome.
Jam, yeah, would have been awesome. That seeing them would have been great. But I did, like I said, then you added in Stone Temple Pilots and stuff like that, and it just completely changed the way rock music was going at the time. Uh, Not that it was a bad direction, but I did like those glam metal bands and things like that. But I also liked the grunge, and I thought there would have been a place for both of them. But now I kind of, when the grunge started, it just completely just wiped those glam metal bands. Almost everybody forgot about them almost instantly, and things were going went pretty south for them pretty fast. Uh,
What'd you do at that instant? Like everything's just moving so quick. That's why how do you
yeah,
keep up with
well,
everything?
back when they used to do the VH1 behind the musics and stuff, they'd have all those bands on there, and they're all like F Nirvana. They pretty much ended our touring career. So yeah, and then they're like, then because they were joking about, kind of just half jokingly about it, but they were being honest as well, as because yeah, I mean when Nirvana hit the scene, it was pretty much the end of the way they were churning out music and the way the record labels wanted to put out music. Uh,
And you saw Dream Theater?
I have seen Dream Theater. I actually saw them. We used to have a rock show here called the Rock Fest. It's a 1 day music festival where they do like a couple different stages, and I did get to see them on a headline the second stage 1 year here. Don't
John
ask me what
John
year.
is John
Yeah, don't.
Petrucci is an incredible guitarist.
Yeah,
God,
but yeah, I've seen tons and tons of bands. Like I saw Soundgarden there. I saw Anthrax,
yeah,
Seven Mary Three. They were huge back in the late '90s. Then even the newer stuff. I got this. I've seen Puddle of Mud. I've seen um, Seven Dust. I've seen several times.
oh
Uh,
whoa,
if you ever get
Mudvayne.
a Mudvayne, I've seen Mudvayne. I've seen Corrosion of Conformity. I've seen a Metallica a couple different times. Uh,
Whoa.
I've seen a ton of amazing bands, and most of them were through that rock festival. There was two of them that they do every year. They do the rock fest, and then they did like Freakers Ball, which is around Halloween, where you got to see. You didn't. It wasn't nearly as big, but you get to see like 4 or 5 different bands that were pretty good. Like I seen Marilyn Manson there. Uh, their
What
Quiet
was that?
Riot was Quiet
What?
Riot, Warrant, and Slaughter played 1 year.
Gee,
Uh,
that's
it,
awesome.
yeah, just I've been really blessed on the amount of great bands I've seen. I mean, and tickets back when I was seeing these bands weren't bad. I mean, $35. For $35, my first concert, I saw Metallica and Corrosion of Conformity.
Gee,
So,
gee.
good luck trying to find a $35 ticket nowadays.
Yeah, no, no, no way.
Yeah, last
I
time,
think
and then I think the last mega show that I saw, I went and saw Ozzy Osbourne and Rob Zombie playing together. But
gee,
that was like $75 a ticket. But that's been like 12 years ago. When that most of the shows that I see nowadays are kind of more indie bands and stuff, up and coming artists. Those are I kind of save the mainstream bands for people who are willing to pay the monstrous amount of money for tickets.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, because I can go and have just as good a time with some smaller bands as I can with those mega bands. Not that I don't like seeing them. It's just I can go see 3 shows of the smaller bands as opposed to one show of the big bands. Playing the huge arenas or stadiums.
I mean, that's a dream. Like that would be cool to do all that, but you had to start from an early age to do that.
Um, yeah, and a lot of those people have just they did start at an early age, and they paid a lot of dues coming up to get there, and that's the main thing I tell uh, indie artists and stuff like that is no matter how big of a star they are, they were once exactly where you are right now. It's just the amount of work and stuff that you want to put in, because some of them, like I said, if you watch those behind the music, they put in years and years of work before
Mm-hmm.
someone finally noticed them and gave them their break. So it is what you make out of it. And nowadays, with the way that the streaming services and stuff, you can almost make your own break now as long as you keep putting out content and stuff like that. And you just, with the way social media is, you get a big following and they start sharing your music with people. And next thing you know, you're you're a big one. I know you're not going to get rich by from streaming services, but that leads to merch sales and things like that. And whenever you do get a chance to get out and tour, then you've already got a built-in audience before you even head out the door, and they're buying your tickets because they've heard of you, and they're like, "Oh man, I got to catch these guys when they're in town," you know.
Yeah, I just had a band shoot us an email, I mean a DM, and they were saying that we want you to do a gig in Bendigo, which is in Melbourne, and I'm like, I would, but I have to find another vocalist, and I feel like there's going to be 1,000 of those more coming in.
Yes, absolutely, and like you said, your followers and stuff jumped up quite a bit, and yeah, you're gonna start getting those people that are sending you DMs. Hey, you want to do collabs, or you want to go out and do a gig with us and things like that, which is awesome, especially if things level out and they start opening all the venues back up and allowing full capacity and things like that, because people are just itching to get out there and see. We've been running things here pretty much at half capacity or a third capacity for a while, but now that they dropped that mask mandate, um, uh,
One,
they're like the baseball team, the Royals. I see you're wearing a Yankees hat. Our Royals, they went from half capacity now to full capacity, maskless, uh, if you're vaccinated. So,
yeah,
and I'm just I'm believing now that that's the way all the venues are going to go. Is all right. You're vaccinated. All right, we're going to open it up if you can prove you're vaccinated, and here we go. We're going to fill this building up, and it's going to happen. They're starting to do the vaccinations for younger and younger kids now, and I mean, most kids these days aren't the straight rock and roll fans that we were when we were growing up, because pretty much music's become genreless. Really, I mean, you got so many cross collaborations from different genres now that it's becoming just music more so than pretty much any time and that I can remember. I
'cause I
mean,
was listening to a I was listening to a song on the radio the other day, Rihanna, um, with a Corn remix, and I'm thinking, geez, this actually sounds pretty all right.
yeah, and back when I was growing up, you almost never ever got things like that. I mean, I mean, there was a few cross collabs like Run DMC and Aerosmith doing "Walk This Way," but those were few and very far in between back in the day. I mean, when you were rock, you were rock, you were country, you were country, and R&B, hip hop, they were all pretty well separated genres, and that's the way people listen to the music, is they listen to specific genres. But now the walls have kind of been taken down, and people are listening their own way. I mean, any song you want to hear is at the touch of your fingers now, and so
Yeah, I mean, back in the 90s, people would go and see a concert. They wouldn't they wouldn't be clicking on Spotify or
Yeah, I mean, you still had to go to the record stores and stuff to buy CDs, and even in the earlier '90s, still a little bit more of you still were getting some cassette tapes. But now, I mean, you an album drops at midnight, and boom, you have it downloaded to your phone at 12:01, depending on how fast your internet is, and
yeah.
so
I think
yeah,
it's like 1 million streams, you get like $1,000. I think.
uh, yeah, and depending on which site that you are streaming from, Spotify and Apple Music are pretty much the worst ones for payday. Uh, do you got your stuff over on Bandcamp?
Yeah, I
What?
just put it there like the other day because I was talking to the guy on Keep Rock Alive,
Mm-hmm.
and he
Yeah,
told me to do that, so I did.
yeah. Well, one Friday every month, Bandcamp does a free Friday where they don't charge fees. So anything you sell on that day, the money goes straight to the band. So that's right now. That's pretty much the best deal going.
I've
And
seen those things like Bandcamp Fridays. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, free Bandcamp Fridays. Yeah. So once you get like merch and things like that, and you get it all loaded on your Bandcamp, anything you sell on those free Fridays, you get 100% of the profits from. So right now, that's the best thing going for the streaming services that I've heard of. Because I mean, most sites you gotta you gotta do like 250,000 streams before you make like $400 for like on Spotify or something like that. And
Yeah.
uh, I
Yeah.
mean, that's great if you're an established artist already, and you don't even have you could be yodeling something, and most people are going to go out and just stream it at least one time just because you're a big artist. But for smaller artists that are still making their way up, it gets a little harder to get that many streams, and that's where people like me come in, and my buddies that make the playlist, like Let's Get the Word Out and Blanket Music, uh, where they have playlists. And
Even
uh,
Veronica.
oh yeah, Veronica.
And you got Shonda.
Yeah, there's a ton of them that'll do it for
I
free.
know. I know.
Don't ever pay anybody for promotion and stuff on social media, because it's just a waste of your time and money.
Hmm.
I'm responding to someone in the chat real quick. I got yelled at because they said that I didn't post it. I was like, I tweeted about it earlier today, and I even tagged them in it. But yeah, and but so
I've had.
now now you've got a couple songs and stuff out there. What is kind of the direction you're wanting to take the band now? Your project going short term here, just like in the back half of 21.
Just create more music. Because I spent a lot of money writing the music and with music video that's on its way getting created, like an animation music video,
Mm-hmm.
like Corn Freak on the Leash, but different to that, like with Greek mythology for Quivering Hourglass. I'd probably like I'm looking at some labels that can actually because they've shown interest,
Nice.
so I can get the funding. Because yeah, I can't afford to make another album. No way, because it's very expensive. So if they
Mm-hmm.
can fund it, I'll be making albums. Uh, I'll be doing what do you call them? Lyric videos. Pretty much
Yeah.
everything, and gigging and trying to get the name out there.
So you mentioned that you're on guitar and you have a drummer. You're going to be looking for a vocalist. Do you have a bass player already that's a member of the band, or are you going to be filling that position as well?
I have to look for a bass player, another guitarist.
So you're looking to add a second guitarist as well as plus a bass player. Um, is that what you're going to be like? Is that your vision for your project? Is the five-piece
Five-piece
band?
band.
Yeah. Okay. And that's a pretty traditional setup as well. I didn't know whether you were looking like some people, like we were talking about with cross genre stuff, where you're looking at someone who plays multiple instruments that could throw just like a wild card in there, and you just do some really wild mix. But it sounds like you're pretty much stay with the traditional, more rock and roll type music, which I absolutely love, by the way. Wish more people would do that.
I
Um,
also play like a Greek instrument, like the bouzouki.
oh, really?
Yeah, and
Nice.
apparently, believe it or not, that's how I created Quivering Hourglass, because I heard all those Octavian notes, and like I made it different, like to any of those grunge bands, because I wanted to be different. So I made it sound European a bit.
I thought it was an excellent song, and anybody that missed it earlier, you can go out and catch them on Spotify. It's StormSinker, and it was Quivering Hourglass that we played earlier. We'll drop another one here in a few minutes. Um, but are you planning on trying to set up any type of like touring and stuff, like just in Australia, or you want to expand
No,
farther?
expand, go as far as possible, even the
Go,
US,
um,
Europe.
yeah, that would be outstanding. There's still huge rock support in Europe, and I believe there would be here as well. It's not that they're not supportive. It's just the way the music is coming out here in the States now, where everything is kind of more, like we mentioned, cross genre stuff like that. But there's still purists out there. They still love that just traditional rock sound, and we've kind of gotten away from it. Um,
Rock's coming back.
and I'm hoping so. I've had a lot of rock bands coming up. I don't know if you've ever talked to or listened to Faust. Uh, I've had them on a show a couple times. Chris, the lead singer, Chris Faust, he's a pretty good friend of mine, and they're pretty good. And then we had Deep Fried, who's a Canadian band that was on not too long ago. They're excellent. You should definitely check them out too. And
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
they're huge supporters as well. So if you get in with them and start talking with them, they are they will support you 100% as well. So real good people there.
My
Did you
godfather
go
went
ahead?
and saw the Screaming Trees at
Screaming
the time.
Trees. Never got to see them, but I've definitely listened to them quite a little bit. I just never got a chance to hear them play. Um,
And Faith No More was coming out here. Then
I
they had
have
the
I have seen Faith No More. Uh, Probably one of my absolute favorite live acts, and I've probably seen these guys like 7 times, and that's Seven Dust. And they were never once the headliner anytime that I seen them, but they commanded presence when they were on stage, and they literally stole the show. I mean, I saw them with Creed. I saw them like four
Gee,
or five times in Rockfest, where they had much bigger bands like Anthrax and the Sammy Hagar and all those guys, and ahead of them, and they would just come out and just completely just rock out and steal the show, and they put on an amazing. So if you ever get a chance to see Seven Dust play live, do it.
I will. Yeah.
It's worth the price of the ticket to do it.
Do
And
they still do the Rockfest where you are?
well, they had to cancel it last year, and I don't know if they've completely canceled the idea, but with the way the restrictions have dropped now, normally it's in like June, but I could see them putting it together for like later in July or an August time frame and still doing the show now that the restrictions have dropped and they can be able to do that. The primary venue that they have to do it is we have a racetrack that they moved it to a couple years ago, and that the county that it's sitting in hasn't dropped their mask mandates yet, but every county around them has. So it's only a matter of time before they do as well.
'Cause it would
So
be awesome to perform there.
and like I said, they do like a second stage where I mean, on that second stage I saw Three Doors Down. I saw oh Stained
Oh my God, yeah.
before they. I saw Stain, and Aaron Lewis himself handed me a pic as he was coming off the stage, and this was before they got. This was like a couple years before they just completely blew up. But I saw like Saliva and Pablo
Gee.
Mudd on there. Let's see, Redline Chemistry. Uh, just tons and tons of great bands that went on to just blow up. Started out on the second stage, and it to be able to play a festival like that and be on that second stage, because the headliners are going to pull people to the show, and but they don't come on until much later in the day, so people are kind of walking back and forth between the main stage and the second stage catching, and that's uh that's where a lot of those bands got their start. And I absolutely I would spend more time at the second stage than I ever would the main stage at those shows, because uh, I wanted to know who the next wave of stuff. I already heard all the songs of the people that were on the main stage. I wanted to hear some fresh new stuff, and that's kind of why I like the indie artists, is because they give you a fresh new spin on some of the stuff that is. If I want to have the same old stuff shoved down my throat all the time, I'll listen to the regular radio. Because that's what it is. It's like the same 9, 10 artists over and over and over again, and it's not only that, they'll play the same songs like every hour from the same bands. It's like they have one set playlist that's an hour long, and they just do shuffle, and it plays every hour of the day. And I don't like that. I like hearing the new stuff. I'm the type of person that, like, if I'm walking down the street and uh, I hear music that catches my attention, I'm stopping. I'm going back, and I'm gonna go listen to them, no matter what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I irritate the hell out of my friends whenever we're walking down the street, because I'll just like stop, and they're like, we turned around and you were gone." I was like, "Oh, I heard this band playing. And this guy was playing some steel drums in there, and he was just going off the charts." And but that's the way I like to listen to music, and it's great, and to hear all these different. That's why I started the whole Twitter page and this is because there everybody knows the mainstream artists, but I'm like there are so many great artists all over the world that no one has ever heard of that are
Yeah.
just as good or have the potential to be just as good as these guys. It's just they've never had the chance for people to hear them, and that's where it kind of the idea kind of started from, and it just kind of blew up from there. And
I just started to send my music to a lot of radio companies, like
mm-hmm,
Radio Wigwam.
mm-hmm,
Absolutely loves
excellent, yeah,
Quivering Hourglass.
yep. They do a lot of playing of that. Send it to Radioactive Radio. They're based out of England. They're an internet radio, but they're strictly a rock format station, so you'll probably get a lot more playtime on there.
Radioactive.
Yeah, radioactiveradio.com is the handle, the Twitter handle, and but
Amazing
they,
Radio. Send it to them.
yeah,
Radio
uh,
what?
any of those internet radios that you see, like I got a ton of them that I follow, and they and vice versa. Those guys are really great helpers. Make sure when you're dropping your links, you tag like the retweeter one. He's got over 20,000 followers, and he'll retweet it if you tag it. And
Who's that?
his tag is the retweeter one.
Oh yeah, yeah, I know him. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and they'll push it out there, and just like I do every day, and get you a lot of extra exposure like that. We were talking earlier. We played played Quivering Hourglass. Is there another one that you like to play? What about Silence After the Mode? That seems like it's been picking up the most streams, at least on Spotify.
Yeah.
All
Silence
right,
After the Mode.
all right.
And
Well, what's
and
that?
Nirvana's like a Forbidden Edge, sort of like
Forbidden Edge, or you pick. It's your show, your spotlight. You pick which one you want to play.
hmm. I'd probably say Silence After the Mode.
Silence After the Mode. All right. Well, here we go with Silence After the Mode. Don't disturb me. You're not welcome. Don't disturb me. Don't want you here. Don't disturb me. Just stay away. Don't disturb me. I'll let you be. You don't own me. Want a piece of me. You don't own me. Just back off. I'm moving from all directions. There's not enough for me to go around. I don't wanna hear from you or anybody else. Don't disturb me now. Disconnected, disengaging, disenchanted, disappointed. Don't disturb me. You're not welcome. Don't disturb me. Just stay away. Don't disturb me. Oh, let me be. Don't disturb me. Don't disturb me. Don't disturb There's not enough for me to go around. Don't wanna hear from you no more. For anybody else. Don't disturb me now. Don't disturb me now. Don't disturb me. I don't know who that uh, uh, session singer was, but he kind of reminded me of Lane Staley with the way he delivered it. It was kind of like an Alice in Chains uh, mixed with kind of like a Megadeth or something like that. More of a harder one mixed with Alice in Chains, and I mean that was a really really good song. I can see why it's getting quite a few streams on there.
And the thing is,
Go ahead.
I really wish he could be the singer of the band.
Oh,
He's got too many projects, so
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, because he does a great job. Was that the same guy from Forbidden Edge?
Yep.
Yep. Okay, that's was it. And we never really got around to it. But can you want to go ahead and shout out where people can find you and what social media platforms you're out there on?
YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Mixposure. What else is there? Our website. That's about it.
And what is your handle was StormSinker?
StormSinker. Oh,
Okay,
Twitter handles at Sinker Storm.
Sinker Storm. Yeah, remember it's backwards. Yeah, whenever
I don't know why I put it backwards, but
it happens sometimes. I've had to change my handle a couple times because of people stealing my handle, or Twitter actually kicked me off one time, so I had to completely change my handle.
yeah, tell me
But
about it. Yeah, that
yeah,
happened to us too.
yeah. The first time I started this, I was up to like 2,500 followers on Twitter, and no reason whatsoever. Someone reported me as a bot. They didn't ask. They didn't do nothing. They just dropped me without any questions at all. And then I restarted it back up as WeareLegion, and obviously they got over the fact that I'm not a bot, because now we're up to over 23,000 and growing more and more every day, and adding more and more great artists.
I mean, you have to go through their rules, like if you like too many things, or if you if you comment, they think you're a bot, and then they suspended my account. But I appealed it and I got it back within like a day, which is very rare.
Yeah, I didn't even. Yeah, I just started over. The appeal wasn't going very well and whatnot. And whenever I had the old account, I ran into those problems where I couldn't follow any more people. I had to wait for the next day, or I couldn't retweet anymore. I have not once ran into that problem with this account. I mean, I retweet hundreds, and I mean hundreds of tweets every single day, and not a problem one. So
Because I think
yeah,
they thought that I was a bot because I had like over 20,000 likes and 17, 18,000 tweets.
um, and
But then
sometimes it happens. Yeah, I mean,
I
or
mean, alias accounts. Like, why
some
don't they go after alias accounts?
yeah, some joker could have reported you. Well, also like they did me as a bot, and
Yeah, we have fake alias accounts. Why don't they go after them?
yeah, no kidding. Uh, there's tons of those. I mean, I get probably DM'd from 50, 60 people a day, uh, swearing they can get me verified, or they're wanting me to get into their Bitcoin scam, or wanting me to. I probably get 200 that want me to join their fans only account, and I'm like, no, that's not what I do here.
Yeah,
I'm strictly here to promote music, and if
yeah,
you even bothered to take a look at my page at all, you would understand that that wasn't gonna fly with me. But now, more so, the bigger I've gotten, I'm starting to get more like companies and stuff that are wanting to follow me and wanting me to follow them, and so they can get their stuff retweeted and things out, and which is all right. But eventually, like companies, I'm gonna expect them to pay the advertising dollars. If you want advertising, you can pay it for me. I mean, I don't charge the bands, but I sure will charge a company. I mean, your CEO really doesn't need to take 6 vacations every year. Why his
yeah.
employees
I
are working
agree.
minimum
Yeah,
wage, working for minimum wage.
yeah.
So yeah, you can pony up the bill, and help me grow and upgrade my equipment and stuff.
I talk with Neil Sean. He's a great support.
Yeah, and
Charlie
tons.
Young,
Yeah,
great singer. Uh, um, Jennifer M. Lowe.
yep, yep. All those they've been most of Jennifer's been around since the beginning of my account. Both of them, she was on both of them, and very great supporter. There's tons of them. Yeah, if you want any
Nakamura.
Yeah, if you want any more, all you ever have to do is DM me, and I'll shoot you out a list of some of the best supporters that are there. And
Yeah. Do you know any like any radios that will pay for music or
uh, right now, all I'm working with is the free internet radios and things like that. As like I said, as I'm growing and growing, there's some that will pay. I just haven't got my foot in the door on those yet, but as I do, I will definitely let people know about those, because I'm all about helping the artist out in any way I can. And um,
well we're on Triple J Unearthed, which is like a website where people can go and like add reviews
mm,
to bands and if they get like a few thousand then they'll get played on the radio.
right on. So what was that website again?
Triple J Unearthed.
Triple J Unearthed. I would encourage everybody to go out there and this gentleman a review. And matter of fact, if you can start dropping that link in the daily streams where we can retweet it out, and maybe we'll get a lot more people to get out there and get you some reviews on there, and so you can start uh, getting getting some money for radio stations paying to get your music out there on their stations. That would be outstanding. The more exposure you get, the better off you're going to be.
I send it to Triple M
Mm-hmm.
radio station, and they play like Alice in Chains and all that sort of.
No, nice. Yeah, getting to put in with all that. I mean, I think your what I've heard so far of your music would fit perfectly in with those, and people who listen to that type of music, they're going to take notice of that, and they're going, well, who is this StormSinker? And then they're going to be looking up and streaming your music and things like that.
Yeah,
But
it's a kind of interesting name, isn't it? StormSinker.
uh, you know, you it is an interesting name, and but for a band, you almost have to have some kind of an interesting name to kind of help people remember who you are, because especially now that everybody is doing music online, if you don't have those things to set you apart, then you just become part of the blob,
Yeah,
and so
rap music has become very popular.
um, hip hop has become very, very popular. I'm I'm hit or miss with it. Uh, I'm more of a purist. Um,
Yeah, same.
I mean, basically, rap music is people talking and stealing someone else's music and dubbing over the top of it.
Mhm. And
so
get paid millions to do. Yeah.
yeah, and so
Always.
I mean, yeah, they're sampling someone else's music and doing it over the top of it. I'm more of the purist, like I said, where I want people out there playing the instruments, no
Yeah.
auto tune, uh, going out there like your guitar on your songs is just phenomenal. I mean, I could just sit there and listen to you. I don't know how long you've been playing guitar, but I could sit there and just listen to you play guitar for hours, and I'd be perfectly okay with that. And but it seems like the younger generations kind of are getting away from that sort of thing, and
Yeah,
uh,
like my mate wrote a new my mate wrote a song like in a previous band called The New Generation.
mm, yeah, I mean, so now people will, if they hear your music, it's the pure music. It's probably sampled behind some rap song that was never intended to be behind. Which I guess it's okay if you're getting like royalties and stuff off of it, but that most people I know didn't write their music to be in that form, to be used
Yeah.
that way, and
And some of these artists like the hip hop and pop sort of genre, they get the songs they get someone else to write the songs for them.
mhm. And that's becoming a lot more prevalent as well. As people, they're not singer songwriters, they're just singers, and they have other people that write their songs for them, and other people that play instruments for them, and all they really do is sing. And I mean, if you're good at singing, great. But uh,
And all these indie artists that I hear, like Sophie Dawson, they write their own music.
yeah, I mean, most of the artists that I know on a personal level, they do write their own music. Even even some of the bigger artists that I've met, like Shinedown, they write their own music. I've hung out with Seether and Saving Abel, and they all write their own music
That'd
and
be
things like
awesome.
that. And well, this is kind of a funny story. I went to a concert and at the arena here in Kansas City, and it was Saving Abel, Seether, and the headliner was Nickelback.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so after the concert was over, we across the street we have like this little bar district that's over there, and I was over at the Rock Bar, and I go up to the bar to buy myself a drink, and I look over and the lead singer is Seether standing on one side of me, and then on another side of me, the lead singer is Saving Abel standing there. So I ended up buying him a couple drinks, and we just sit there and started chit chatting and drinking and taking shots and stuff. And we probably talked for like an hour and 15 minutes, and yeah, that was even though the show was great, that was the highlight of my night because I'm sitting there drinking with these guys, and
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
yeah, and that was pretty sweet. Well, we're running a little long. I really appreciate you coming on the show. Keep us up to date on your progress and stuff.
Yeah.
If you find a lead singer and stuff, let me know whenever you're releasing new music or anything like that. Or if you ever want to come back on the show, be more than happy to set up a time frame whenever you can come back on the show. I know it's hard with the time difference, but I can always open up a weekend for you, like we did this time to accommodate.
Yeah, I'd be happy to come back. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and hopefully things will start getting back to normal. Things will be opening back up, and maybe one day I'll be able to come on over to Australia, or maybe even see you over here in the States, and we could actually do a live show where we're both live together.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that would be awesome. But yeah, definitely keep us up to date, and thank you again for coming on the show. Is there anything you would like to say to the people in the chat before you head out tonight?
Um, just follow us on social media and stay tuned for our new music video that's going to be released in a couple of months.
Rana, all right. Well, you have a great rest of your day, and we will talk to you later.
Thanks. You too.
But all right, everybody, that was StormSinker. From what we heard tonight, they got some really great music, and they're just really he's kind of coming together. This is his project. This has been his dream project, and he's kind of bringing it all together now. He's got himself a drummer. He's going to be looking for a singer and a bassist, and hopefully another guitarist to finish out his 5-piece ensemble. But definitely go out and stream their music. Follow him on social media, and let some people know about him, because he's got some really good stuff out there, and we hope to hear a lot more good things from him. But I appreciate you all coming out. Please hit the like on your way out if you have not, which I think most of you already here in the chat have. Hit the subscribe button, because don't really know a lot when I'm coming on. I do know that our next date, let me see, what day is it now? Today is May 15th. I don't have anything scheduled for next week, but we do have two on the 24th. We have early at 6:30 Central Time with Sophie, and then we have another one at 9 p.m. with Harry's Heart on the 24th. So we're going to have a double show that night, and hope you all can make it out. And until next time, we will see you later. Have a great night.